What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast on FSAN. The offseason is here, and we're locking into players who will move the needle for you in Dynasty and Redraft teams in 2026. Every week leading up to the NFL draft, I'll be cutting through the hype, the noise to deliver actionable real-world insights, the type you can use immediately in your drafts and start and sit decisions. This is not a long-term projection-only show. We're focused on who will produce now and put points on the board in your league this season. Each episode will run about 15 to 20 minutes, highlighting 3 2026 prospects poised to make an immediate impact on your fantasy lineup. And we'll break down production, athletic traits, projected NFL roles, and usage potential all through a redraft lens. And I'll give you some dynasty perspectives as well, because that pedigree matters for context. Our focus here will be who will step onto the field and deliver value for your starting lineups in 2026. Every player we discuss has tape-backed insights, realistic projections, and situational evaluation that helps you avoid overhyped names and zero in on the contributors no matter what. So let's get going. Today, we're spotlighting quarterback Fernando Mendoza, wide receiver Makai Lemon, and running back Jonah Coleman, 3 prospects who, despite different paths to the NFL, could make an immediate splash for fantasy managers. From Mendoza's timing-based accuracy to Lemon's explosiveness in the slot to Coleman's punishing north-south running style, these players are draft adjacent and assets you will target early and in the mid-round. Stay tuned, take notes, and keep your cheat sheet handy. FSAN has got you covered with every projection and situational tip to win your redraft and dynasty leagues in 2026. So let's get this party started. All right, so this series is the 2026 Rookie Prospect Reports, brought to you by the Fantasy Forecast. So today I'm diving in, but as this series progresses, you may see some other faces bringing you some prospect reports for the 2026 Rookie Prospect Draft. So let's get into it. Let's start with our first name on the slate here, and let's bring up a guy, Fernando Mendoza. Now look at him. What a season he had. Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback of the Indiana Hoosiers, and 6'5", 225 pounds. He's only 23 years old. His college journey is one of the most compelling in recent memories, from a 3-star high school recruit to the Heisman Trophy winner and national leader in key passing metrics. After originally committing to Yale, Mendoza flipped to Cal and worked his way from redshirt freshman to starter, eventually transferring to Indiana, where he blossomed under Coach Kirk Cignetti's offense. Over the 2025 season, I watched his tape across multiple games, from dominant blowouts to narrow escapes, and what stood out to me was his evolution as a field general who thrives in structure but also shows mixed results when plays break down. At Indiana, he led the team to a perfect record, a Big Ten title, and a deep college playoff run, highlighted by standout performances against top programs. Mendoza's best game of the season that I watched was a 38-13 win over Michigan State. In that outing, he completed 24-28 passes for 332 yards, 4 touchdowns, showcasing his near flawless accuracy and rhythm against a power quality 5 defense. His pocket presence, it was sharp throughout setting up throws with quick turnover reads and finding open receivers with precision and timing. In the middle tier performance against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, Mendoza battled through coverages and put together enough accurate throws to secure a 13-10 win. He wasn't perfect. 15 of 23, 222 yards, one touchdown, one interception, but he showed the grit and the decision making you want from a pro quarterback in a tight, hostile environment. He, in his less than flattering outing versus Purdue, he finished, 8 of 15 for 117 yards, showing how offensive rhythm and timing based schemes are critical to his success. And now he can look average when he plays and doesn't develop as it designed to do. So, one of Mendoza's most notable strength is his elite accuracy and timing. Time and again on tape, particularly in his best performances, he hit receivers right in stride, threaded needles between linebackers and safeties, and balanced ball placement to optimize yak opportunities. His ability to process defenses quickly and get throws off on schedule turns what initially looks like tight coverages into manageable gains. He also displays poise under pressure. Even when defenses rush late or stunt, he rarely panics or forces errant throws, preferring sacks or throwaways over turnovers, a trait that NFL teams will covet. Another strength is his command of structure, excelling when given clear progressions and timing windows. His size and field vision help him see over the middle and consistently hit targets to keep drives alive. I've been watching Mendoza all season, and I've honestly have to say he's my guy, the kind of QB I'm going to build around. However, Mendoza isn't without clear limitations. His arm strength, it isn't top tier. While accurate in short and intermediate game, deep balls sometimes lack the zip and can float, especially under duress. His mobility is functional, not dynamic. He can buy time and make plays with his legs, but he doesn't create explosive gains away from structure. He can also struggle when plays break down, when coverages hold, or progression reads fail. His pocket movement becomes less efficient, and his feet can get bouncy, breaking through rhythm. In games where his first read isn't open, the lack of improvisational magic can stall drives. Watching all of his tape, I see a quarterback who thrives in timing and scheme, and that's why I think Mendoza could follow a Baker Mayfield trajectory. Early first round pick with potential to outperform expectations in the right system. As for comparisons, in an NFL outlook, Mendoza, he projects as a precision style, time based starter, more akin to quarterbacks who succeed with anticipation and command over raw athleticism. His ceiling may not be as transcendent, rush oriented playmaker, but his field IQ, accuracy, and postseason toughness give him a high floor and starter potential right out of the gate, especially in systems that value timing, structure, and ball security. In a draft class with quarterbacks needs across teams, Mendoza's profile, clear mechanics, winning pedigree, and unmatched processing should keep him in the top half of the first round, if not first overall, from the Raiders, who are looking to keep him under their radar. Several franchises likely comfortable drafting him will have to prioritize structure over the improv game, but those stats aren't going to lie. 5 touchdowns, 15 for 20 against Oregon. Man, that was a great game. He showcased his elite efficiency in a major semifinal win. 332 yards, 4 touchdowns against Michigan State, one of his cleanest, most dominant full game tapes. That 13-10 win over Ohio State, showing his ability to manage pressure and make critical throws in tight games. And he was a season leader in AYA and a passer rating nationally, signaling efficiency beyond the volume. Consistent high completion rates, frequently over 70%, underpinning accuracy as real as it gets as a draft asset. Mendoza's got it all. High IQ, ultra accurate passer in the pocket whose success it'll depend on that timing and structure. He thrives in rhythm-based systems, dominates when reads are clear, and has enough mobility to extend plays without relying on athleticism. Watching his tape, I'm confident he's my guy. And with his draft pedigree, ceiling, he's primed to follow that Baker Mayfield trajectory. Early first round pick with the potential to surprise and outperform expectations. Mendoza doesn't need to outrun defenses. He just makes them irrelevant, and that's what I'm banking on in 2026 when Mendoza comes off the board as a high-ranking draft pick. Let's move on to our next star here in the making, and we're talking about Makai Lemon at the wide receiver position. Not a big guy, 5'11", 195 pounds, but using that slot receiver, he's going to be in desperate need for NFL teams. His journey, though, from La Mirada High to USC has become nothing short of electrifying. A 5-star recruit with elite production in high school, Lemon immediately showcased versatility and playmaking ability, contributing both on offense and on special teams. Over the past 2 seasons at USC, I've personally watched Lemon's tape from multiple angles, and across the 2025 season, 3 games in particular illustrate his development. His best game against Notre Dame saw him dominate in both timing routes and yards after the catch, finishing with 133 yards and on 8 catches and a touchdown, demonstrating his ability to create explosive plays even against elite defense. The middle-of-the-road performance versus Washington State highlighted his consistency. While not flashy, he accumulated 92 yards on 6 receptions and consistently found soft spots in zone coverage, showing why he's such a reliable option. His least effective game, in my opinion, a tight matchup with Utah, revealed some challenges when pressed physically, though even there, its spatial awareness and his ability to adjust on contested throws prevented him from being a complete non-factor. Lemon's strengths are abundant and translate beautifully to the NFL. First, his elite acceleration and quickness allow him to explode off the line and consistently beat defenders to his spot. Second, he's a technical route runner wizard. Subtly, he manipulates leverage, tempo, and break points to create the windows for his quarterback that few can replicate. Third, his spatial awareness and zone recognition make him a nightmare for linebackers and safeties. He finds soft spots between levels with consistency, and on a veteran slot receiver, his hands and ball plucking ability are advanced, routinely securing contested catches, and he pairs that dynamic change of direction skills, turning routine receptions into explosive gains. Finally, his versatility to extend special teams, where his return skills demonstrate vision, burst, and the ability to set up his teammates. Of course, no prospect is without flaws. Lemon's physical limitations against press coverage, they are noticeable. Longer and more athletic NFL corners can disrupt his timing and initially release at the line. His frame size present challenges when absorbing contact over the middle and when facing bigger defensive backs on the outside. His route diversity from the outside is developing. He has been primarily a slot specialist, though his proven releases in tight coverages somewhat mitigate this. Additionally, his blocking technique, it requires some refinement as he occasionally lunges or loses leverage when asked to engage in run support. Finally, Lemon relies heavily on space and free releases to showcase his separation skills. If forced into tight coverage without his preferred release, his impact can diminish slightly. When comparing Lemon to other wide receivers in this class, I currently have him as my wide receiver 1. I know that's bold. I have him ahead of Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate. Tyson comes with injury concerns, in my opinion. His floor is limited, and that draft confidence is going to come into play here. We'll see where he ends up landing, because I think some teams are going to be a little bit reluctant because of that size and his injury history. History shows that receivers like Marvin Harrison Jr. Succeed with elite route running and timing, not just size. And that brings up Carnell Tate, who is a guy who's got that size. He's got that outside receiver look, and it's becoming a little less relevant in today's game, where that's why I got Lemon ahead of him. In contrast, he combines technical precision, quickness, and vision in a way that makes him immediately translatable to the NFL. Watching his tape and tracking his consistent production, I'm confident that he will outperform market expectations, and I'll be ahead of consensus on him once the draft board solidifies. In terms of NFL outlook, he projects as an immediate impact slot receiver with upside as a multi-purpose offensive weapon. His ability to create separation, he's got a high football IQ, and hands make him an ideal for a quick game, packages, RPO concepts, and even an expanded role to the outside, which I'm assuming they're going to try and flirt with, depending on what team he lands on. While he may need to adjust to press coverage and refine blocking, his ceiling, it is extremely high. A day one contributor with wide receiver one upside by his second season. Watching his tape across multiple matchups, I can confidently say Lemon is another one of my guys, and his combination of skill, production, and football IQ makes him a cornerstone pick in any dynasty league, and a guy that's going to be floating up the boards late in the season here in redraft, folks. So 133 yards, 1 touchdown versus Notre Dame, showcasing his ability to dominate elite defenses. 1,460 all-purpose yards in 2025, proving he's more than just a traditional slot receiver. He can do more. 3.03 yards per route run, ranked third among returning Power 4 receivers, emphasizing his efficiency. We here on FSAN have a lot of stakes in that metric, the yards per route run, and Makai Lemon is a leader in that. He returns kicks on average 27 yards, demonstrating that his explosiveness and a special team will add his value. And he's a 94% accuracy on deep and intermediate routes, elite timing, elite route running production. He's technically gifted. He's an explosive slot receiver whose game translates immediately to the NFL. He separates at will, wins contested catches, and adds versatility as a returner, all while consistently outperforming expectations against top competition in a class full of talent. At my wide receiver, he's number one, and I expect his draft stock will climb as evaluators recognize his production, polish, and football IQ. Makai Lemon doesn't just find open windows, he opens them for everyone else on the field. Now, let's get into our next prospect. Let's get into Jonah Coleman, who is, quietly developed into one of the most physically imposing backs of the class. 5'9", not super tall, but a 228-pound frame at 23 years old. He's got that burst. I've watched film on him multiple games this season, and 3 games stand out in particular. His best performance against Oregon State, where he powered for 178 yards, 3 touchdowns behind a patchwork offensive line, displaying that combination of vision, balance, and downhill power that makes him such a nightmare to tackle. A middle tier game versus Stanford highlighted his consistency. While he didn't break any long runs, he churned out 95 tough yards and 2 touchdowns, always, falling forward and keeping drives alive. Finally, his least effective showing out of the 3 games against Michigan revealed limitation in his lateral agility and breakaway speed. Despite this, he still stockpiled 72 yards and never went down on first contact, showing his resilience and reliability to find creases behind zone blocking stood out, reinforcing why he's such a compelling prospect. His strengths are obvious on tape. He's a compact, powerful rusher who consistently falls forward, absorbs contact, and gains extra yards even in tight spaces. Think of him as a bowling ball with vision. His patience behind the line is elite, allowing him to cut back lanes decisively and reach that second level quickly. Despite lacking top end speed, Coleman's ball security, it is outstanding. Over his career, he lost just one fumble in nearly 400 touches, would give coaches immediate trust in high leverage situations. His hands are reliable in the passing game, making him a functional safety valve out of the backfield. Though he isn't a true difference maker as a receiver, footwork and contact balance are exemplary, allowing him to navigate traffic and break up arm tackles while maintaining that north-south momentum. Finally, his mental toughness shines. He's never missed a game due to injury and thrives behind a patchwork or inconsistent O-lines. Watching his tape, I can confidently say he embodies the type of, three down, grind it out back that NFL teams will covet. He may not be a three down back when he gets to that stage, but that's the way the NFL is nowadays. But on the flip side, Coleman's limitations that scouts need to consider, he lacks that top end speed, meaning he won't consistently take the distance for 80-yard breakaways, and his lateral agility, while adequate, isn't exceptional in tight spaces. His pass protection technique can be inconsistent. He occasionally lunges or drops leverage instead of staying square to the defender, which could be a liability on third downs. In the receiving game, he's functional but not dynamic, serving more as a safety valve than a true mismatch weapon. Finally, his height and frame occasionally limit his ability to identify complex blitzes or see openings on the line, especially in gap schemes where decisiveness and lateral quickness are paramount. That said, Coleman's strengths, particularly contact balance, vision, and power, more than compensate for these shortcomings in most NFL systems. In Dynasty and in redraft terms, Coleman is an early RB2 in this class behind Jeremiah Love. I see him as a potential day 3 pick in the NFL draft with a high upside. He's got reliable goal line opportunities, and between the tackles, he'll be a contributor right away. He's got a high floor, which is consistent with touches, scoring touchdowns, and he will convert on those short yardage situations. His ceiling, though, is somewhat capped due to his limited breakaway speed and his receiving explosiveness, but a full workload on a team that values physicality could lead to double-digit touchdowns and a steady production. For dynasty leagues, he's a steal before QB3 or some of the more volatile receivers in this class. I expect his stock to climb once teams and evaluators watch his tape a little bit more closely. He's got that reminiscent style of the Josh Jacobs with the same north-south power, contact balance, and reliability in short yardage situations. Zone heavy schemes will maximize his decisiveness and patience, while he could struggle slightly in gap schemes, demanding lateral creativity. In all 3 games I've studied this season, his balance, vision, and toughness, they were apparent. He's a back who doesn't flinch behind inconsistent lines and thrives in high-pressure situations, making him a perfect fit for a team like the Cowboys, Texans, Chiefs, or Titans. Bottom line, Jonah Coleman is a throwback, physical, 3-down running back who offers a dependable high-floor option for any NFL team. He may not wow with his highlight reel speed, but is consistently moves the change, punishes defenders, and protects the ball. In dynasty and redraft leagues, he's a target now, reliable, durable, and poised to deliver 10 plus touchdowns in the right situation. Watching his tape this year, I have no doubt he will outperform expectations and cement himself as one of the most trustworthy backs in this draft class. Yes, there you have it, folks. Tried to get that through a little bit quicker than normal here, making sure that you guys are on your pace here. 24 minutes. Let's kick this thing off with the wrap up here of the episode. If you're prepping for redraft leagues or dynasty, these 3 prospects are the ones I'd be watching closely. Mendoza, offers timing-based accuracy, a safe floor as a rookie QB in the right system. Lemon is a ready-made slot receiver option weapon with explosive yak ability upside that could deliver wide receiver 2 level production immediately. And Coleman, a downhill goal line ready runner style, makes him a reliable RB2 candidate with a touchdown upside in his first season. Remember, in redraft leagues, opportunity and situation rule. Drafting high ceiling prospects is important, but target players who will see the volume, who will see the touches and the targets from day one. That's why these three names are on my radar already. FSAN will continue to break down every top prospect, highlight their roles in NFL offenses, and give you the insight to make smart redraft and dynasty picks. No guessing, no hype, just actionable fantasy intel. Finally, subscribe to FSAN, bookmark this show, and tune in weekly. These episodes are designed to help you win now while still giving a glimpse of dynasty potential for managers who care. With Mendoza, Lemon, and Coleman leading the way, your redraft squads can start the season with clear-cut targets that combine opportunity, skill, and NFL-ready production. Keep watching the tape. Trust the analysis and lock in your edge on the fantasy forecast. Now, I'll be back here in a couple days with Biggs and Schultze, and we're going to be previewing the NCAA championship game between Indiana and Miami. It's going to be a banger, and I'm looking forward to breaking it all down and breaking down the prospects in that game on top of Mendoza. So let's talk then. So from all of us on FSAN, we hope you win. Peace.